Believe it or not, your body needs cholesterol. Cholesterol is not bad for you. The brain-body connection is a real thing. So our thoughts do control our bodies, right? We don't have to think to move our arms or to breathe. So whether it is from work or your family, you are noticing that you're holding on to weight. Things like that are stress. Your body is in the fight or flight mode.
Yes.
We work on that mind-body connection and get you some moments of peace throughout the day. I got very sick and I ended up in the hospital in the ICU for about 10 days in complete septic shock. But then for about a year afterwards, I did not feel myself. And doctor said, look at your labs, you are fine. And I got so tired of hearing that I was fine because I knew I wasn't.
What did you start to do differently that kind of flipped the script in your health?
There's not one thing. Take a look at everything around you, your diet, your exercise, your happiness, and you make slow changes, small changes that you're going to maintain.
What are some of misconceptions about holistic health that you would like to clear up?
That we only use essential oils and that we don't.
Welcome to the Nurse on Purpose podcast, where we challenge media stereotypes about nursing and spotlight the incredible and diverse roles nurses play in healthcare. I'm your host, Nello. Every week, I'll be joined by a nurse who is reshaping the narrative. From frontline care to leadership, education, innovation, and beyond. Our aim is to show the world that nursing is so much more than what we see on TV. Together, we'll explore how we can collaborate with media and other stakeholders to create authentic and inspiring portrayals of nurses. Let's begin the conversation and ignite change, one episode at a time. Hey guys, welcome back to the Nurse on Purpose podcast. Here we amplify the voices of nurses who are shifting the narrative and transforming healthcare from the inside out. And today's guest is no exception. She is someone whose story reminds us that healing is not a single destination. It is sacred, it is personal, and it is an ongoing conversation with our bodies. Jenny Carroll is a holistic nurse coach and the founder of Integrative Healing with Jenny. With over 15 years of experience in trauma rooms, research clinics, and digital health systems, Jenny brings this rare fusion of clinical depth and whole person wisdom to her practice. After surviving septic shock and being told she was quote unquote fine while feeling anything but fine, she flipped the script, healing herself at the cellular level, and now she helps others to do the same. Jenny, you're welcome to the podcast.
Hi, thank you, Noah. So happy to be here.
Great to have you here. I love just your passion for health and personalized health. So in this episode, we are going to be breaking down what metabolic health really means, what integrative health really means. We're going to be clearing up some common misconceptions about lab results and really just talking about why making consistent, realistic changes matters more than being perfect, right? So let's get started with how you kind of got introduced to holistic health to begin with.
So my mom was hippie before hippie was cool these days, right? So we didn't eat sugar as a kid. We were very odd, I call it. So it's always been a part of me, and I've used it in my nursing to a point, but I pulled away from it when I became an ER nurse. And I was very focused on the medicine.
Yeah.
And 15 years in ER cath lab, I started noticing we're seeing the same patients over and over. We're healing them basically with a miracle by putting a stent in, and then they're coming right back for the same thing, putting on all these meds. So we were missing a piece, and a light bulb went on, and I started getting back into the holistic side, going back to school, studying, learning everything that I could, and started taking odd jobs with holistic providers to take whatever I could from them and start integrating that into what I was doing at the hospital.
That's awesome. And then eventually, kind of fast forward, you had an experience, right? A medical experience, septic shock. Talk about how that sort of shifted your gears and made you focus more on your own health and your body, especially as it relates to this concept of integrative healing?
Yes. So I got very sick in 2019 and I ended up in the hospital in the ICU for about 10 days in complete septic shock. Just, I had my viral panel was lit up like a Christmas tree with 5, 7 viruses. I had hepatitis going on. I had all these things and I made it through. I did not think I was going to make it through. I made it through. But then for about a year afterwards, I did not feel myself. Obviously, you're going to be weak after being
Mm,
in septic shock.
right.
But 3, 4 months in, I still had fevers almost every day. I'm a very active person, and I had a little one at the time. She was about 2. I couldn't keep up with her, and I got depressed, going
Mm,
from doctor to doctor, saying that everything was fine. My labs were a little askew for a while, but then eventually they kind of stabilized.
mhm,
And doctor said, "Look at your labs. You are fine." And I got
mm,
so tired of hearing that I was fine because I knew I wasn't.
mm,
And I spent thousands upon thousands of dollars going from doctor to doctor saying there's something wrong.
mm,
And it actually now got to the point where even my husband, who is the most supportive person, said maybe we should stop and consider maybe it's psychosomatic. Maybe
mm,
it's in your head that you're still
mm,
sick, but you're not. And I have never been more depressed in my whole life, but I
mm,
knew that something was off. So I did find a few holistic doctors in the area, but I was just, they were missing something as well. And I took it upon myself to just learn everything that I could about
mm,
my body, listen to my body, and
mm.
make changes that it took about 2 years, but I have never been healthier.
Wow, that's so amazing. It is frustrating to not be heard, right? And of course, those labs are there to provide guidance to healthcare providers. So I guess in a way, you can't really fault them for thinking
No.
everything is fine. But this is just showing us the importance of not looking on paper, but looking at the patient, right? Looking at you and seeing what are you, I mean, what is it that you're struggling with internally that these labs are not showing us? So, what did you start to do differently that kind of flipped the script in your health?
A lot of various things.
Mm,
So anytime anyone asks me to give them what will make me healthier, there's not one thing. You
mm,
take a look at everything around you, your diet, your exercise, your happiness,
mm,
and you make slow changes, small changes that you're going to maintain. And basically, I did add in a ton of supplementation. I did a bunch of various labs that showed me where I was lacking and how
mm,
my body processed things and filled that in.
mm,
But I also just kept making better choices every day for my
mm,
diet and noticing if I eat this, even if it's
mm,
healthy for you, it doesn't make me feel good.
mm,
So I'm not going to eat that again. And
mm,
slow shifts and movement. And I actually, to really get me healthy, honestly, what I did was IV vitamin infusions and
mm.
something called NAD infusions. And we can get deeper in that if you'd like, but it is a little on the more complex side. But
Go for it.
so basically, NAD is what your cells use as energy. It is what kind of fires everything. And without it, your cells don't really function.
Right.
And it gets depleted as we age, but it also gets depleted with illness. And there's ways to kind of replace it with your diet and some supplements, but there's also a protocol that Dr. Conover, who
Mm,
we worked with at the IV infusion place I was working at the time, came up with a protocol for recovery.
mm,
And they actually use it a lot for alcohol and drug withdrawal, but this was also for post-viral illness was a really good use for it.
yeah.
And over the course of 10 days, I got 5 infusions of NAD, so every other day.
Mm,
And it is a little bit painful if you've never had the NAD because your body is just, holy cow, what am I going to do with all of this energy?
yeah.
And it can be quite uncomfortable. But at the end of that 5 days, I, for the first time in a year, had energy back.
Wow.
And I saw the light, like, okay, we're gonna do this. We're getting out of it. I'm not absolutely crazy. There
Mm,
was something going on with my body that needed
yeah.
to be repaired.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Eventually, you transitioned into integrative healing and holistic health coaching. Was that what you felt you needed to do in order to support other people that may be going through this journey? Or how did you get into that line of work?
It was actually being done and I didn't even know it. It was one of
Mm,
those things where I've coached my patients through things we all have. We're nurses. That's our job. We
yeah.
coach our patients with the knowledge base that we have. And it's not always just about medicine, right? So
Mm,
sometimes you're there as the only support person when they're going through something difficult. Sometimes you're teaching them maybe how we're going to change our diet. And we have to find a way to say it that's not going to offend them, but know that you're coming from
mm,
concern and from love. Like, hey, you've been in this ER 6 times this year. Do we think that maybe the fact that you weigh 450 pounds might be why your knee hurts? And
mm.
let's have a chat about
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
So we've all done it. And I stumbled upon a nurse coaching course.
Mm.
And I don't know what called me to do it, but I took the course and realized, oh my gosh, I've already been doing this and you can do this as a job.
Mm-hmm.
So basically from there, I took the business side of it and learned how to do it where you can actually have an income. And that's what got me there.
That's amazing. What are some of the things that you teach people with your business? How do you help them move the needle on their health? And not just move it, but in a sustainable way, because sustainability is one of the biggest drivers of long term, of course, accomplishment when your actions can be consistent over time. People feel like they have to adapt or adopt the practices, the workout, the eating, the whatever it is of this, like the general population or whatever is the big thing on the market, whether it's keto or carnivore, or whatever the diet is, right? What is a way that you help people see that their diets and their nutrition and their lifestyle should be personalized to them so that they can sustain it for the long term?
In the beginning, that was one of the hardest things because everyone wanted the quick fix or what are you doing? What did you do?
Mm-hmm. Mm.
It is nothing about me. As I take that person, I look at them, and we spend about 2 hours looking at what you are doing in your life, what your labs are, what you feel would make your life better, where you want to be.
Mm.
And then I adapt a plan from there. So whatever you're doing now, we can always be a little bit better. And that is
Yeah,
the goal with it. Is that every choice you make is a choice towards health or a
yeah,
choice towards illness.
yeah.
So let's make some good choices.
Mm.
And if we can pull away from the all or nothing,
Mm.
I have to eat only this. I
Mm.
have to work out 7 times or 7 days a week. And we can just focus on, okay, I made a bad choice. Next choice I'm going to make, we're going to choose something better
Mm.
and helping people understand those choices and how they work with their body
Yeah,
and sustainable things that they enjoy. Like we talked about workouts, you're not going to do that HIIT class 5 times a week if that's not something you like. But
yeah,
if you like yoga, let's get you into yoga.
yeah.
First, let's do it consistently, and then let's make another good choice. Let's do a harder yoga class, or let's
Mm.
do a hot yoga class.
Mm.
Let's take something you enjoy, make it better, and you'll keep doing it.
Mm. Hot works, right? We were talking about
Yeah.
hot works
Yes,
before we
that's
started recording. I'm like, girl, what is hot works? You work out in a sauna.
in a
Ah,
sauna. So you got the metabolic health of it because the heat is so good for our bodies.
yeah,
You're sweating out the toxins, and one of the biggest perks I think is your skin. Like
yeah.
my skin is glowing. I've only been
It
going to
is
this place
glowing. It
for
is.
zero makeup. I was very concerned to pop on here, but I'm like, you know what? This is me, and I'm gonna show up this
Mhm.
way.
You look beautiful. Like you do glow from like the inside out, and I can tell. Can you talk about also how your emotional and mental well-being impacts your physical health? And it's not just about what you eat, but also how you feel on the inside emotionally.
Yes, this is absolutely huge, and I can go 2 ways with it. Either we can go the simplistic route or the metabolic route.
Mm.
And which would you prefer?
Metabolic.
Metabolic. So the brain body connection is a real thing.
Yeah.
So our thoughts do control our bodies, right? We don't have to think to move our arms or to breathe, but on the same level, we kind of are. We're
Yeah.
telling our body, hey, move out of the way, there's a car coming.
Yeah.
Or so you're sending connections constantly, right?
Yeah.
So our mental state, whether we're calm or in a stressful environment with work, impacts our body and its functions.
Yeah.
So if we're constantly in a stressful state and everyone's stress levels are unique to them,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So whether it is from work or your family, if you are noticing that you're holding on to weight or that your brain's a little foggy, things like that are stress. Your
Mm.
body is in the fight or flight mode.
Yes.
We work on that mind body connection and get you some moments of peace throughout the day, or
Mm.
how to handle that stress that's going to come at you no matter what, how we're
Mm.
going to handle it a little bit better.
Mm.
And that impacts every function of your body, every cell in your body.
Mm. That's so key, that what you're thinking about, what you're stressing about, what you're anxious about can contribute to holding on weight that isn't needed, even if sometimes you're doing all the right things, right? Very important to make that connection, because people stress a lot about food and working out, and they forget to take care of themselves, right? They forget to take care of their sleep. They forget to take moments to pause and meditate and really actively detoxify from the inside out. So thank you for sharing that. Now, what are some of misconceptions, right, or common misconceptions about holistic health that you would like to clear up?
That we only use essential oils and that we don't.
That it's woo-woo medicine.
It is
That's
a
what
lot
I've
of
heard.
misconceptions that it's woo woo and
Yeah.
that, I mean, of course, if I say that I want you to meditate, it does sound pretty woo woo, but it's
Hmm.
all about the mind balance. And we can find a way of meditation that works with your life. And it's not, all of us sitting in a room in yoga poses all day.
Right. Right.
But
Yeah.
really also that we still integrate traditional medicine, and there is science behind it. Things that
Absolutely.
used to just not make sense, like leaky gut, that was a very far-fetched idea 5, 10 years ago.
Yeah.
And now there is science to prove that it is a real thing and it's affecting most of us actually. But yeah, there's science and it's real medicine. It's just
Yeah.
taking you as a whole picture and you as a person as opposed to you as a diagnosis or a symptom or
Yeah.
just an average.
Yeah. Now, when you kind of talked about the beginning of your journey, when all your labs were normal, but you still didn't feel fine, I want to focus a lot more on that. You have said that normal labs don't necessarily mean optimal health. Can you break that down for those who might be going through that situation right now, or somebody who's been told that they're fine but doesn't feel fine even though the labs show that they're fine? Can you talk to that person, especially with regard to specific labs like your A1C or your cholesterol levels, and things like that?
This one's a little bit of a tough one too because we have been told that normal, and as long as you're normal, then that is you should be good. Your body's functioning, but
Right.
our bodies are so smart. So
Yeah.
our body's goal is to fix things and heal things for us. It has an innate ability to keep us running optimally.
Yeah.
So for a long time, it's going to compensate.
Mm.
So in regards to your blood sugar, there have been studies that by the time that you get to the point where they're considering that you're diabetic, right? Your fasting blood sugar is maybe 90, getting up to 100.
Mm.
It has been approximately 7 to even 11 years that your
Mm.
body
Has
has already been
responded.
in overdrive. It's been struggling and it's
Yeah.
been telling you in different
Mm.
ways
Mm.
and you're just not listening. So by the time that number reaches something where they're like, oh, we're abnormal, we should look at this, you're already in repair mode. Like we're
Yeah.
not preventing, we are repairing. Your body has been under that stress for so long.
Yeah. Now, talk about cholesterol panels, right? And how people might assume that this is caused primarily by dietary fat. What would you say to this particular lab?
Cholesterol is one of my soapboxes. So cholesterol is so fun. Believe it
Mhm.
or not, your body needs cholesterol. Cholesterol is not bad for you.
Mhm.
And it has gotten such a bad rap and like everything, misconceptions for it.
Right.
So cholesterol does not usually come from the fats you eat.
Mm,
Your cholesterol, your triglycerides rise from an overload of carbohydrates, believe it or not. So it's your body having too much and not knowing what to do with it. And it translates it into these bad cholesterols. And I don't
mm,
mean the LDL like we've all been taught that that's your bad cholesterol.
mm,
There's actually different variations of your high density, your low density. There's different variations of those, and those can be good for your body or bad for your body.
mm.
So I don't know if we want to get into the medication portion, but the medications that we take, the statins, do lower your number, right? It's been proven. It
Yeah,
lowers your number. But what it does is it lowers the number of what we'll call the good, bad cholesterol, the
yeah,
good LDLs. There's
mhm,
fluffy LDLs in
yeah,
there. And it lowers that number, but it doesn't necessarily target whether they're the good ones or the bad ones for your body.
yeah,
So you may still be getting a bunch of those inflammatory ones rolling around. And while one person's number might be higher than the others, they
yeah,
might have better cholesterol,
mm,
right? And helpful cholesterol, ones that are triggering hormones to function correctly. And there's cholesterol on the cell membranes. So
yeah,
each of our cells needs cholesterol to function. We
yeah,
need that.
yeah,
And being told repeatedly that we just need to take a med to lower it
yeah,
is kind of backwards thinking because it's
yeah,
not looking at the real person, it's looking at a number in a
yeah,
lab.
yeah. And I love when we had talked before, you said it's important to be flexible with your body because what your body needs today is not necessarily what it's going to need later or a year from now. And we were talking about an exercise regimen or a dietary regimen. Our bodies need change, right? Things shift, our hormones shift, stress happens, traumas happen, and all of these things affect our bodies. And basically, your encouragement is for people to stay flexible, whether that means adjusting your supplements, adjusting your workouts, your routines, whatever you need to adjust. Can you talk a little bit more about how the body can need some flexibility and why it's important to adjust in order to optimize your health and sustain over time?
Yes, of course. So obviously, our bodies are going to change as we age. We're also going to be impacted by different things. You're going to have
Mm,
different jobs. We're going to have little toddlers, and then we're going to have bigger kids, and the stresses of it is different.
yeah,
So as you're going through life and you notice so these supplements just aren't working quite as well as they used to, or I'm getting tired again, or even your diet, this is upsetting my stomach and it didn't used to, well,
yeah,
your body changes.
yeah,
And we
yeah,
need to be flexible with our bodies and feeling things
yeah,
and knowing that what you're feeling is okay and listening to your body.
yeah,
And then also giving yourself some grace. So recently, I say recently, the last few years, I hit that magic 35-ish number where your hormones do change and your body changes.
mm,
And without even realizing it, I just started putting on weight like crazy. Nothing changed. My diet was the same, my workouts were the same, but nothing had changed really. That
mm,
it was all on the inside.
mm,
Now, whether it was hormones or a random virus that I got, because they can affect everything, to throw
mm,
everything off whack
mm,
too, doesn't matter what it was. I finally stopped, listened to my body, and started coaching myself.
mm,
And we adjusted our foods. We adjusted our workouts. So they actually weren't as intense. They were more yoga focused and really
mm,
getting kind of myself back out of that fight or flight mode so that my
mm,
hormones could regulate themselves.
mm.
And then the weight started coming back off.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So things aren't going to stay the same. And we're going to get you on a regimen where you're doing well for a while, but it's okay if
Mm,
you fall back sometimes.
yeah, yeah.
It's just all about keeping making those adjustments towards your health.
I needed to hear this just now because I feel like we align on that motherhood kind of life. And I have a 2.5-year-old. And I also felt like, okay, I'm getting a session from you, just like a 5-minute session. This is a freebie session from Integrative Healing with Jenny. I realized that after I had my baby, I was, I always used to be kind of on the slimmer side with, of course, workouts, exercise. I had to do all of that, but with, proper diet and all of that. But recently I would notice my weight is changing, my body's changing, my
Mm,
weight is, going up, and I'm like, I'm not doing anything super differently. Like I'm not eating ravenously. I'm not eating way more than before. Initially, with the breast milk and stuff, you have to eat more in order to have more
mm,
supply and drink more water. But that was that. And she's 2.5 years old, so I'm not breastfeeding her anymore. That's way past. But I felt like I held on to the weight, and it's just not coming off. And I'm like, I'm eating, what I used to eat before, and nothing. In fact, sometimes I eat less just because the day just gets away from me, and wondering what I'm doing wrong. Can you shed some light into this body of mine, and how can I figure it out? Right? I feel like I'm doing the same things. I'm active. Yeah. Help,
sure.
Jenny.
So a couple of things I like to do with my clients are having them kind of reflect on what their normal is.
Mm,
A lot of it we don't notice.
mm,
So you've got a toddler-ish right now, right?
mm.
And you're not eating as often, which means
Yeah,
you're more hungry though because
yeah,
you're not eating.
yeah,
So a lot of us, I know I did, we're feeding them. We make sure they're fed.
yeah.
And either we're not eating all day and then maybe eating too much at night, and your
Mm,
body's very confused. Like,
mm.
hey, I haven't eaten all day.
Yeah.
Maybe I don't know when I'm going to eat again, so I better hold on to this meal.
Mm-hmm.
So sometimes it holds on for that reason.
Mm,
Other times it's because I caught myself eating the food I was making my kiddo
mm,
and snacking more throughout the day.
mm-hmm.
But a lot of it really is that we're not feeding our body consistently and in a way that is fueling it and giving it
Mm,
energy and
mm,
letting it do its jobs throughout the day. And it kind of gets congested in a
mm,
way
mm,
to where it's not able to do its normal functions and burn that fat in the way that it
mm,
was before. And it's too
mm.
busy, you know,
Taking
deciding when
care.
it's, yeah,
Mhm,
taking care of you, deciding what the most important functions are and allocating that fuel there.
mm.
And a lot of it is just reflection and then small changes.
Yeah, for sure. I think that also when I'm more relaxed, we just took a little vacation, and I felt like I came back from the vacation, I ate, and I did whatever, but then I
Mm.
was losing weight.
Mm.
Like,
Oh, I love that you brought this up. I am so excited right now.
really?
Yes, there is we call it the vacation theory,
Yeah.
and there are studies on it.
Hmm.
So I hear this from so many people, and myself included, even. Like, we go on vacation and you eat whatever you want, and you're not thinking about it, and you
Yeah.
come back, you fully expected to have gained weight and you
Yeah.
lost it,
And
right?
I lost weight.
That's that mind body connection. I
Yeah.
know it sounds crazy, but your body is happy. It is relaxed. It's functioning the way it should be. And you're not overeating. You're
Yeah.
taking time when you eat your meals and you're enjoying them.
Yeah.
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 And so you're eating until you're full, knowing that you're going to have another meal at dinner because we're not going crazy, right? More
Yeah.
food is coming.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
vacation theory, you proved it. I'm so excited about
Yeah, and we
that.
went without her. So my daughter's the one that's making me gain weight. That's the summary of
Is
everything.
that what you got at that?
That's the summary of everything that you just said. Okay, I'm gonna tell my husband we can go on another vacation.
There you go. You had to go on a diet, so we should go on a vacation.
Yeah, right. Let's spend another couple thousand so I can lose 2 pounds. But yeah, that was awesome. That's why I really wanted to get into that mind body connection. And thank you for tackling that so well, because stress and just the grind, the daily grind, trying to do this, trying to do that, running around with your daughter, that can add to it and just make you hold on to a lot of weight. So thanks for sharing. So I think that we are going to transition now to our media portion, talking about nurses in the media, because we can talk about this topic to whatever point we want to, but just to respect our time and our audience, let's talk about it. What are your thoughts about how nurses are portrayed in media?
All right, I'm probably a bad example because I don't watch a ton of TV. Um, but just the things that I know from what pop up, I think they all seem to be don't know how, Nurse Jackie. Like, why did we have to make her addicted to drugs to make it interesting?
Right.
I do like Scrubs. I think my husband watches
Mm-hmm.
Scrubs every once in a while, and Nurse Carla is probably the
Mm-hmm.
closest to how I
Mm-hmm.
see
Yeah.
a real nurse. She's assertive and she knows her stuff,
Yeah.
and she's also a real person and there for her patients. So I appreciate that.
Yes.
And then as far as my media goes, my algorithm is just like ourselves. It's very
Yeah.
personal to me. And my
Yeah.
algorithm for nursing has nurses in the media awesome right now. Like I am loving my algorithm.
Nice. Nice. Awesome.
So we're seeing women bosses as nurses, and
Mm,
that's what I like to see.
it's lovely. Okay, let's play our game. Wonderful transition. So, Jenny, are you ready for this? I wish
I
I
am
had an
ready.
integrative health coach category in here, but I don't. I would have cheated and picked that.
Ah,
All right, so let's go for it. I'll pick your category and then come up with a plot line that features a nurse. Ready?
ready.
Okay, your category is sitcom.
Sitcom. Okay. Um, I think it would be really cool to do like a spin-off of Friends. You're
Yeah.
familiar with Friends, I know.
Oh, your friends.
But it'd be a group of nurses,
Mm,
and they all are in different fields of nursing because my group of friends varies so much right now. Like there are
mm,
some still at the bedside, there are
mm,
some doing coaching,
nice.
there's some doing private like post-op care
Mm,
and concierge. So I
mm.
think it'd be really cool if there was a group of nurses, nurse friends, and they all had different jobs,
Yeah,
but the same kind of quirkiness that Friends has.
I love it. Awesome. So no one told you life was gonna.
Gonna be this way. I
Okay,
love
guys,
it.
don't flag my video for copyright. All right, where can people find you to connect with you?
I'm mostly on Facebook. I
Yeah,
do have a little website and I dabble in TikTok, but I am old school and on Facebook mostly.
awesome. And what's your name on Instagram?
Integrative healing with Jenny. Makes
Integrative
it pretty
Healing
easy.
with Jenny. So,
Yeah.
guys, please be sure to follow her. This was an amazing episode. Thank you so much for being here, for sharing your story. And, guys, if today's conversation sparked something in you, please be sure to follow Jenny, Integrative Healing with Jenny, on social media. And if you've been feeling off or feeling dismissed or just disconnected from your body or from your own health journey, understand that you're not broken. You are just overdue for a different kind of care. Please like, please share, please subscribe, and I hope to see you guys in the next one. Take care. Bye bye. Thanks for hanging with me till the end. I hope you gained some valuable insight into the world of nursing. If today's episode inspired you, please like, subscribe, and share with someone who needs to hear about the amazing work nurses are doing. Let's keep breaking stereotypes and reshaping the narrative together. I'll see you next time.